Alright, we got an Edelbrock on the table here. So first thing we need to take note to is what number carburetor we got. So this is a 1406. So that will tell us our calibrations, where we're gonna hook this linkage, this linkage is supposed to be hooked to. Take note of this clip here. It faces a direction. If you have it in wrong, you'll break that accelerator pump off. Used to be a brass, it's plastic now, so you'll just snap this off if you have this S facing the wrong direction. There's a little bit of a taper to it. So I'm gonna pull this. Usually there's a screen here. You see where this metal filter is. Then you're gonna pull these your metering rods out. There's your fuel meters. They sit in a jet and they meter your fuel. So you're gonna pull these out so you don't get nothing bent. Make sure you place these in the right direction. That way they work together. Just don't mix anything around. There's no reason to it. Just put it back where it came from. So then we have to unhook our linkages here. And then this linkage is missing, so I have a linkage kit showing up today that I couldn't get in the auto parts store. So this linkage should be hooked to, there's a spot right here. This is going to be flipped around. 1 second here. So this sits like this. This comes up here. Then you'll see where this point stops, but we'll wait till we get the linkage. That's not going to work because this is set up for your choke anyway. So I can get this truck running without that. It's definitely not optimum, but is what it is. So, and you can see on this carburetor that they've had an electric choke that's been deleted, converted to a old school manual choke. So that yeah. So let's get it pulled apart and we'll go from there. See what it looks like on the inside. Alright, so now we're down to the first level over here, right? So this style doesn't have a screen here. Now some of them will come with a replacement screen that will go in the end of here. Now we can look inside here and see we got some debris clogged in against the screens, right? So the one thing we're going to take note to before you do anything is we're going to look at the lengths on our floats. See how they're uneven? So almost every Edelbrock I ever pull apart is usually it's tweaked wrong. So I'm gonna take note of that. There'll be a dimension on where to set these floats to, and it comes with a directions on what to set those lengths to, and it comes with a little measuring tape. So and then you end up having to tweak those, but we'll do that. I'll show that at the end. So now here's your float jets for your fuel level. If we look, let's see how much wear we got on here. They don't look too bad, honestly. Usually, it's hard to see because I got a crap camera. But you can usually see a ridge where they sit. You can see a little bit of one there, and then they'll leak by. And then the float quits doing its job, and it overfuels. It ends up with the too high of a fuel level because it doesn't seal, and your carburetor don't run right. So that's one thing you gotta look for. So those are getting changed. All that comes in the rebuild kit. So we'll pull these. Those will have our screens. We'll change our screens out, flush all that out, clean it. And then now that you have these out, you can pull this upper gasket off, which is probably going to be stuck. I'm going to have some scraping to do. And we can look over here. This is, obviously this carburetor is full of crap. I knew it was going to be, but I just wanted to give it a shot. Plus, you can see why I would want all this to pre-soak, because if not, then these are actually really hard and difficult to get apart. So I didn't mind pre-soaking this with gasoline, even though I pretty much knew it was going to need a rebuild. Not to mention I found this metering rod was stuck in the bore on that side, so that's going to create an issue that definitely wasn't going to run right. So we'll pull out our accelerator pump return spring here, and you can see that's stuck in the bore. See? So this carburetor's old, but I like the old ones. They'll be good, so we'll get it a good clean job. And so what we're going to do is we're going to remove these primary jets. So I don't know what technical terminology is, know how it works. So then we're going to pull this accelerator jet out. And underneath here is going to be a counterweight and a BB. You want to make sure you don't lose those. You want to make sure you reinstall them in the correct sequence before you pull it apart. So take note on which direction those are seating. If you get it wrong, you'll know. So yeah, so I'm going to tear this down. We'll get to the next stage here. Get it all tore apart and cleaned. And we'll take a look inside and see how much contamination we got in these pockets. Some of this fuel, I accidentally poured some bad fuel in a gas tank into the carburetor to get it to start. Yeah, that's not what you want. So, but I pulled apart carburetors that run that look worse than that, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, next video coming. Alright, so we got this carburetor tore down. You can see that our accelerator pump seal has pretty much had it, given that this is our new one here. So it's dried out, but it's hammered. Plus, it's supposed to be flipped around the other way so that it actually grabs the bore and forces fuel down. So somebody rebuilt this carburetor, didn't know what the hell they were doing. Um, Yeah, plus, you know how I can tell it's been rebuilt? Because all the gaskets, this is the only spot that I have to scrape right here. Look at every one of those gaskets came off. I'm a pretty lucky man today. We'll see. Um, so yeah, it's pretty dirty. We're gonna have to give this thing a good scrubbing. There is absolutely a lot of contamination in here from rust and sitting. I'm kind of glad that I got fuel in there because if you didn't know, gasoline was originally made. It was a cleaning agent, so it works wonderful. It works wonderfully to start the cleaning process. So we got to clean that, and then we can start a reassembly. We have our accelerator jump, new seal, top seal, our accelerator pump return spring. These metering rods come with new um, mounting springs for your rod here, so you don't have to replace those, but we're going to. It's not difficult. You just have to be very patient with it. And then we have our sets new float jets. Our float needles, and then we have all of our new gaskets. Some of these will be unused. And if you really want to see why I like Edelbrocks on trucks versus not drag cars, not the Hollies have their place, but on a regular truck, just every day, the reason, my personal opinion, the reason I like Edelbrocks is because this part here, butterflies that sit in here, boom, right? So here's your counterweight and your sealing ball for your accelerator jet, and then you have your accelerator pump itself, and you have your linkages with your two butterflies, and that is pretty much all your moving parts. I believe it's about 5. So we will get this cleaned and get to the next step, and we will make another video. But that's just what I wanted to show, that why I like Edelbrocks on my truck, so I don't have to mess with them. Is I've set one of these up. I've taken a brand new one out of the box when I was 17 years old. We bolted it onto an engine. We made